Alright everyone, so I just wanted to make a video today, a comprehensive video on like a build guide, because I love building in these types of games and I just couldn't find anything out there to really help, so I had to figure everything out on my own. So hopefully this video will help anyone out that's looking for a little bit more information on building. I'm going to try my best to figure out how to make the segments at the bottom so you can go to each segment that you need to. You can skip around in the video. I'll try and keep everything as organized as I can. There will be big pop-ups on the screen to like show generally what we're talking about. So if I can't figure out the bottom thing, they should be big pop-ups. You can kind of scroll through and see where they come up. So I'm going to start with, I'm going to do a quick run through and show you guys all the bases I did with my full playthrough. And then after that, we'll come back and I'll show how to build a house with stone. We'll do wood and stone. We'll do granite. We'll do adamant, and then I'm gonna go back and do one more, which is like the final, because you get like a bunch of extra stuff, kind of mostly just to make it look pretty, but there's some weird and wonky things that we can talk about. All right, so first we're just gonna do a quick run through. This is where you start off. That's the first door down there. It's where you fall through. Obviously the game wants you to build here first, gives you the chest and the hearth and everything in here. So we stayed here for a couple of nights, kind of got our bearings, all pretty straightforward. And then we made our way over to the Elven quarter. And this was our first house there. All right, so this was our second home. It's in the Elven quarter. I don't want to show outside right now because it'll spoil some things. But it's pretty basic. We just rebuilt a home that was already here. We had our beds up here. Pretty basic, simplistic. I put another fireplace here so we could use the forge that was already next door, and we just rebuilt that. Oh no, we actually slept here. We didn't even use the upstairs in this house. We stayed here for a little while, and I mean, just while we were here in the Elven Quarter, and then it seemed like forever, but it really wasn't that long compared to the rest of the game. And then we made our way down into the mines of Moria, and I will show you that home now. So this home we spent a lot more time in. This was another mostly pre-built structure. What I like to do in most areas is kind of rush towards, not the end, but I guess like the middle. So I rush towards the first point, the ending. So the first point where you have to start digging to new areas. And we found this. You can see the walls that I built here and a door. These walls were destroyed several times, but I managed to hold off the hordes. This is the trash pile. I'm sure some of you guys, if not all of you guys, have this. I will show you guys later on. I had some issues with water. Water will eat stuff. If you really want to destroy stuff, you throw it in water and it's gone forever. I lost some stuff to that. But anyway, this is when storage really started to become an issue. You unfortunately can't stack chests like this anymore since the patch. I haven't deleted them though because you can't do it again. So I wanted to leave it to make a video like this and show you guys how it was. Obviously, more chests would have had to been around the ground. A lot more frustrating. There's some things you can do later on to kind of stack them more, make it a little bit easier, and I will get to that. So here's this home. Then we moved on to, we kind of built a home at the Great Drain Pumps, but it was just throwing some stuff in the pumps. I don't really need to show you guys that. Nothing special. The next thing we would do is move on to Dwar Delph, which we just used the chamber for a home. And this is when I went and I built our first main home. So it is first main home. So this is when I was like, okay, you just saw the home we were at, and then I was like, let's build a big main home, and we'll just always travel back there, but we'll stop making outposts. Like, this is where we're going to set up camp. We'll always come back here to sleep. Okay, so the last time you guys saw was kind of our last outpost, and then we moved here. We're back in the Elven Quarter. I was like, there's a lot of food here, a lot of resources. So we had our beds up here. Let's go ahead and set up camp here. We can, because food was becoming an issue. It's a lot safer here, and the black diamonds weren't as big of an issue. Um, so I set up a lot bigger. We had pallets full of stuff everywhere, as you can see. This was a pre-built forge, and I just kind of added to it, expanded it, and then I had like ingots here close to the forge, make it simple. Fortunately, this again you can't do anymore. Then we had chests all up here and down, but I deleted those, not realizing you wouldn't be able to do them again. There were ovens and stoves here. This was all kitchen area, and then this was all just full of more materials, pallets. Outside that ladder, there was a garden, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But this one I'll show you out this door is a lot more defended. 3 doors you had to come through. Obviously, this last set I just added recently. It's not granite, it's adamant. So we're right by the forge here. Now, we didn't want to be in the forge because you see how much darker it just got? And we didn't want to deal with that. Having too many torches really bugs out the game. There were a ton of torches in this house, but I deleted them just to kind of have... I need to go delete the ones in the forge. I forgot about those ones, but I deleted all the torches that were here because it was bugging out the game for my wife especially, who didn't have quite as strong of a PC. But this was a nice home while it lasted. Now, we're going to move on to... So this is when we were going through Dwardelf, and we just used like the outpost for a while, and then, you know, we're just always coming back here. So we never really set up anything in Dwardelf. We didn't need to. We didn't set up anything in the Bazaar either. So once we hit this new area, I was like, okay, we've unlocked everything. We got, you know, all the new recipes. We can build everything, and everything's unlocked. So I was like, I'm going to build like the fancy home. So I kind of gutted this house and went next door and built a new house. So first, before I show it off, I'm going to show you where we had the garden. I set it right over here. For those of you that don't know, the garden needs the light for most foods, the more important ones. And the nice part, this is one of the big food things I was talking about, the Elven Quarter. Like right up here, light, all light. So I had a big platform here to grow my planters. And so this is where the garden was. Obviously later in the game, you get these lamps, and it does the sun for you, and you can put your garden wherever you want. But the Elven Quarter, until you get that, is very needed for the sunlight to grow. Especially because the oats aren't easy to get until way later in the game. So this, I'm sure, looks crazy. The underbelly is not the prettiest thing. You have these walls defending the pillars. And really, this home isn't meant to be entered from the ground floor. It's a very defensive home. Got my little treasure room here. Little hoard. Because we're dwarves. And it's just out the other way. Same thing, bunch of doors. The point of this the house isn't to come in on the bottom floor. Then you would come in, if you came in from the bottom floor though, loot room. And the way I built these is with these are in the adamant. These are the sloped barriers. You can build the chest just like that, so you can kind of get a stack going. These you can still build on the wall. And then you can actually build 3 up like this if you do it right. So you can really get some stacking going if you really want to stack. So like we probably, we could have put, you know, another chest. I might have had to put a railing back here, and then could have put another chest there. The grow lights, you got to be careful. They are really nice. They are somewhat better than, they're definitely better than the torches. They look better. But if you have too many of them, they'll really start to bug out the game with the shadows and all that. So just be careful there. Now this is the main floor of the home. I know it's the 3rd floor. This is the whole main point of the home. So you have the huge forage area over here. This is what all the pillars are for. This is actually one of my entrances, is how I come up here most of the time. So I'd come up here into the forage area. And then this is all built off the main structure of the home. This is out the other side. It's obviously, you can see it's barricaded off. We had a little bit of rating issues, but we can get into that later. Built the bedroom up here, real fancy, blah, blah, blah. Wanting to show off all my things. And then the evening brew, obviously. If you guys aren't drinking on the evening brew, you're messing up. You're really sleeping on it. So drink that, sleep, do what you got to do, and then come down, grab our food that we made for the night, hit these two, make sure you fill this up with extra gold so you get the full buff, and then we can head out for the day. These are just dump chests, extra crap, you know, that I don't feel like organizing right now. You know, I want to get back in my adventure. I'll organize later. So that's what those are for. Kitchen area, kitchen supplies. Now this was just a whole project. This huge new brew tank. Before we just had two of the medium-sized ones here. Make sure you keep that Miravor, that healing ale on you. It's crazy, super OP, constant heals if you haven't tried it yet. But I'll get into how to build this later on. It was kind of complicated to make it somewhat clean. Then the well, just I don't have anything to say. Stuff happens. You go to sleep, and yeah, we'll have to work on the integrity of this. I got a little overzealous with this garden. Obviously there's nothing out here. We are way out here. It's really hard to keep structural integrity out here. I'll have to work on that. Maybe we'll work on it in the video just to show you guys. Now the underbelly is gross, obviously. There's just so much structural stuff. Some of it I was just messing with and haven't cleaned up. But we'll come back to that and fix it at the end of the video, just to show you guys some more irritating stuff. All right, sorry, I know this is going on long. I'm going to try and pick things up here. So let's go to, I'm going to go right here, and we're going to build, if you're not looking to rebuild off of another structure, like I did, just repairing it, adding a door, and a big part of that to keep in mind, let me throw it up on screen really fast. Building on pre-built structures, okay? So when you build on pre-built structures, what did I just do? Okay. When you build on pre-built structures like this, I built these doors. Now if I delete these doors, or like over here, there's these walls. I deleted some things there that like these fancy wood beams here. You can't build those yet. Those aren't in the game yet. And there were some fancy walls here. And I deleted my walls that I had here is that I didn't place them how I wanted them. And it deleted the pre-built stuff here. And you can't get those back. There's no way to get that back. So that's the frustrating side of building in the pre-built areas, because they're pretty and like they have things you want that you can't build. If you mess something up and delete it, it's also going to delete the structure it was attached to. So just keep that in mind for building on pre-built structures. All right, so next I'm going to move on to building with stone and wood. Just going to go out here. So wood and stone, obviously throw your floors down first. However big you're planning on making this, throw your floors down first. Whether you're using stone or wood. In the early game, honestly, stone's probably way easier to get. But you want to lay out first. This is in every game. You can watch any tutorial. They're going to tell you this. Lay out the square first. So we'll build a little 4x4 right here. Start with some walls on the corners. And I'll show you why I start with the corners. It just makes things simpler. sometimes, especially when you're on a bigger structure, you might accidentally start right here, and then now you have this weird gap that you have to deal with. So let's add a door. Oh, that was an archway. Simple door. Light a door right there. X, press X to delete. I'm actually gonna put up a window, which, as far as I can tell, are the same structurally, like just as structurally sound as walls. And it's nice being able to see outside somewhat. So you can't jump through them. Can, kind of, yeah. You can go right through those. Z to crouch, by the way. Took us a while to figure that one out. So we built a basic structure, 4x4. Now we wanted to fin this, right? Well, if you wanna, in most other games, you would build what people call an airlock. So let's see, stone wall, airlock. Now the doors are definitely weaker than walls. So an airlock isn't going to hurt anything. It's definitely going to help having an airlock, but they don't always necessarily come for the doors. So building like the whole front as an airlock. So if we want to build up some walls like this, that's definitely going to add some more defense. And if you got the space, if you can build the back of your base against like an unbreakable wall like that, do it. But we could go around this whole thing and build extra airlock basically around the whole thing. They will come towards the area of the doors usually, but they don't always just attack the doors. The main part, building a base, are the fires, obviously. This is what they come for. This is what they want to attack, what the hordes come. Now, where I've built this hearth, the hordes will not come here. They're not going to attack here. This isn't what they want. They want the first hearth I placed, which is actually over in that house on that side. So they're going to come over there still. So keep that in mind. The first hearth you place down in a square is the one that's going to be raided. And the way you, like, if you didn't know, you can connect these so you can see the dots on the floor. So if you place this new hearth inside of this hearth's radius, it's going to extend this hearth's radius. Even though this one's bigger, this one's newer, this one does more, this is still the heart of the home. This is the main hearth. I mean, it's not here because obviously, but I'm saying if you just had this home, this is still the main one because it's the first one you built. I'm going to take this off in case it's distracting anybody. So keep that in mind. It can help if you're going to stay and build a really big base. You can use that to your advantage. And the way you could use that to your advantage is to place your stone hearth down. This is our first one right here. We're placing it there. And we're not going to build a home around it. We're going to build walls around it. You get the point. Messed it up a little bit, but now that's our home. That's what they're going for. Now you could make like a tunnel and lead them to it, you know, and so that's what they're going to focus on. They're going to focus on breaking these walls. But all of our resources and our house is back over here. They're not even coming over here. There's a space here. There's not even stuff. They're worried about that over there. So we're all good on in that regard. So that's a good way. If your base keeps getting destroyed, that's a good way to keep yourself safe. That, you know, destroy all your hearths, build one kind of far away, kind of track the hearths back to your main home until you get your home covered again. Or you could completely destroy the hearth, but then you don't have anything to cook with, and it gets, yeah, I wouldn't go that route. So basic home, if you're building stairs, you saw I built the platform there. I kind of build it into the wall a little bit to make it not so, on the inside it looks better, on the outside it doesn't, but it can give you a platform to get back inside easily if you don't have a roof. Now I'm sure you guys have lots of questions about building a second floor. Pretty straightforward. If you build a small 4x4, which isn't a crazy amount of space, I know it's not a lot. The floors will completely cover everything. Your question is going to be, well, my base needs to be bigger than that because I have to build stoves and furnaces and blah, 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 blah. So how do I keep the floor in the middle from collapsing? Supports. Supports suck when you build higher than one floor. Basic supports though. Supports are weird. They kind of want to be in the middle of the piece. And you want to make sure these are white, not yellow. The being on the corners doesn't really make a piece stronger. You need the support to be in the middle. So if we go back up here now, we go with our wood floor. This is now yellow because we added supports and we can build farther out. Now that's very quickly not yellow. And we're breaking again. So we got one more piece from that support. Kind of sucks. There are some other ways to get around it, and we're about to get to those. But let's finish off this second floor. We want to build second floor here. Okay, that's where it was. So we want a second floor. We want all windows. All windows. No particular reason. I just want to see outside. Oh, big pro tip. Keep a stack of cabbage on you. You don't have to waste healing stuff. Even in late game, keep it on you. It's so nice. Okay, so we built that. We want another roof, right? It's already red. Hold on. We were just on corners. Wait, it's already breaking. So this really sucks. It's already breaking because we're built so high. You can go back and you can build some supports. Build some supports. It's going to help a little bit. You can go on the floor under. Support these floors some more. I like to put columns right here. Stairs usually is an easy little added support. Obviously this makes the lower floor suck, but okay, we added some more supports. We still can't build a roof. Not really. Oops. Still gonna break. So we'll add some more supports. We add the ones on the lower floor because you need support below to get support above. Sorry. All right, so that gave us just enough support. We needed one pillar per at that point. And that really sucks. That really grinds in my gears. I don't want these big old supports in the middle of my room necessarily. So how do we avoid that? How do we avoid having to build the pillars in the middle of the room? These fancy little doodads down here are super underrated. Supporting structures. You guys get the point. So these little bad boys down here, we're gonna build straight across, just like that. See if that holds it up. Doesn't. Does not. You still need support under it. You can't just, oh, there's no support under that, so it's not gonna add too much support. You still need support under it for it to actually do anything. So we're gonna add one more tall platform, small beam, and then now our floor is gonna hold up. But that's a lot to go through. It's a lot more than just having one pillar in the middle of the room. Okay, so what's my point? We come out here, and instead of building our structure just in the middle of nowhere, we use these walls. We use the walls already built. We can significantly extend our structure to farther than it should be allowed to go. So we gotta get this to a point. So right there, this is now considered in the ground. It's a base. That is also still a base. That I know it's not, it's not touching the wood, but that's still a base. Look how much farther that base comes out for us. So if we had built all the way against the wall, all the way out here, all the way to this piece, I think that's 2 full floor pieces, is considered on the ground. Shoot, I got 3 in there. This is considered on the floor. Now, how do we build out farther than that? So we slap some more of these out there. I think we got one more. Yeah, that's it. So from the wall, this is where it ended. This is where this floor is. This is where the wall technically ends. We came out 3 more. Now, if you notice, when we're building on the ground, we're building on walls, you can only build 2. Well, with this setup, you can actually only build 1 around. If these were granite walls, you could have built 2 floors in, which does give you a lot more to play with if you're using wooden floors. Stone floors get more complicated. But now you can see we can throw stone floors up here. Well, that one didn't hold. Can we throw a wooden floor up there? We cannot. Let's do this. All right. Now, can we support a wood floor? No, we cannot. This is where things get really weird, and why I like building. My favorite place to build is where my main home is. There are rocks all around, and we can do weird things, like building from over there. You can't find a good spot. You can't get it to sit right. You can build just like that. That's the level I wanted it. I couldn't build there. So now we're building out. Boom. That didn't work how I thought I wanted it to. You see my point? Hold on. Ugh, I didn't get it perfectly lined up. The height difference, so they're not connecting. This piece should have connected to both of those floors, and it would have held up if I had the height requirements set up appropriately. But point being, Okay, this was as far out as we could build. That's still a pretty long house. But if we wanted to build out even farther, or out more, we could have done so. Again, I can't find the spot I want, so I'm going to build up here, and then build down. And it's still staying structurally sound as it being on ground, even though it's not. If we can make it think it's on ground as far out as we can, we want to do that. See how much farther out we just came, and it still thinks it's on ground. So now we built way out here. We can do that all the way down if we need to, and we could build floors all the way across just using these sidewalls instead of going straight out from this side. So think about how much extra support you're going to get if you build all the supports coming from this direction and this direction, you crisscross them, you connect them. And so it would basically just be like them touching. Like if I build straight out here, it's going to touch these. The ones coming through here are going to touch the ones coming back. So they're supporting each other, which is going to support more floorings, more walls. You can build up higher. Let me show you this in action. If you see this floor over here, we're going to skip over to adamant. The double height column. This thing is amazing. Once you unlock it, you can do so much with it. But those are the only reason why I was able to build. You see, I put a bunch right here, and those are helping support the corners. And what those actually did over there, those big old double stacked columns, as you can see on the home, there's columns all the way up and down the walls too, regular granite ones. Those back here, making all of those floors to the wall like they're on the ground. Whereas before, I tried to build it over here, it just wouldn't happen. I actually struggled a lot on this corner to get the banisters how I wanted them. And I had to have the supports. These did nothing. These didn't help me. I put double height supports all the way down to the ground from right here, and then I put this on top of it, and it still wasn't supporting a floor above it because you're building too tall. And so with these, I made the game think I was still close to the ground. So that one was on the ground. That one was on the ground. Now we got a yellow way out there that can support. We can get it lined up right. Might get it to pop on a yellow. There we go. So there's a yellow. There's too much in the way. I'm not going to delete stuff, but you can see I got a yellow to pop right there. And that let me build the railings. You can see the structure that I built. Yeah, I had to double up here. These I don't think I actually need anymore. But I'm not going to delete them because I'm afraid I may need them. I don't believe I do though. The structure, I played around with this for hours. The structure from the ground doesn't help. Once you get over the double height column, you can build like one more wall up. So I could build like one more wall right here on this level. I could slap a wall right here. But you can't build anything on top of that. Nothing can go above that. And so to get above that height, to get to that third pillar level, you have to build from the walls. You have to get support from nearby walls using the support beams. There's no other vertical structures you can use to come outwards. You can use these floors. I found that flooring does not add nearly as much support as the beams do. You definitely get more from the beams. Okay, I don't really know what else I can tell you guys. I said I was going to go through and do a build on all of these, but I feel like this is already way too long. I don't really know what else I could show you guys. I could make some more videos and just do builds with them, do fancy builds, show you how to build like a strategic build. This was, I guess, more of a general build guide, not a comprehensive. It's mostly tips and tricks for the tricky things. And the tricky things are building tall. Everyone wants to build tall, but you don't have to. Like I said in the beginning of the video, it's actually going to be more of an outro. Get into the outro. So yeah, this has just been tips and tricks. It's been way too long, so I'll maybe make some more videos if you guys like this one. The main takeaways here are, if you want to build up, you got to build near walls. It's best if you build in these big middle areas, like in the Elven Quarter. We got 4 different walls we could work with to add support. You know, we're surrounded. You got these big pillars. Those are super helpful. I'm gonna need to work on this. Might work on that in another video. And if you want to build defensively, if you're having problems with raids, delete your hearths, build a hearth far away, chain some hearths to your home. Not super far away. You do want to go defend it. They got good loot you can go get. So throw another hearth here to extend it over to your home, whatever you got to do. But this is where they're going to come attack. This was the first one put down. So this, you don't have to worry too much about defending it, because they're going to attack this right here. I hope that helped you guys. Good luck. If you have any questions, let me know. If there's any more specific build videos you guys want, because I have done this for, it's been at least 60 hours just building in the game. I mean, obviously I just rambled on for so long. I didn't even mean to. There's just so much information I figured out and learned. Some of the annoying things that don't work in the game, like the, where is it? It's the narrow wall crown. It sucks. It doesn't look how it's supposed to look. It's glitched out. It's supposed to look like, obviously it's supposed to look like the bottom one, but upside down. You can see it's bugged out. It doesn't look right. It's really unfortunate. There are a few other things like that we can get into. I hope this helped you guys. Good luck. All right, later, nerds.